Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta. Episode 156.
156? Wow.
Yes, sir.
That's insane.
Every week. It's gotta be like, yo, I can't believe we made it this far.
156? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice
man.
hat. Nice hat, man. So
Thanks.
what were you doing? You're looking like you were kicking things today.
Yeah, well I wanted to go, so we're if you guys are listening in, we're hours late. And cuz I was asked, what I read is softball, and I love softball. So a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, we need a sub for our softball team." I read softball because I was like, I really want to play softball, but it's kickball. It was kickball, and I even went back and checked the text. I was like, "Bro, you said it was softball." No, he definitely said kickball, but my mind saw what it wanted to see, and so I want to play some kickball tonight.
Rip. But kickball's still fun. I mean, if you're 9.
No, I literally haven't played kickball since I was like in 4th grade, so. It was interesting.
What size was the kickball?
It's like this. It's like a basketball.
Basketball size?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Like very squish.
Did you ever play kickball in elementary with like the Giganto kickball? Did they ever do that one?
Like a medicine ball?
Yeah, I know. They had like we had these Giganto kickballs too. Like sometimes you'd use the normal size one, but every now and then they'd get out this Giganto one. That was like, medicine size. Ones you sit on or something, like a workout ball.
No.
But that's cool. So
yeah,
played some kickball, had a good time. Made us late for the pod.
People take it pretty seriously. There's a guy there that like had a beer in his hand the whole time. He's like the best player on their team, and he just like he could do everything one-handed, and he's never dropped his beer. So he'd be shortstop, and he'd just field the ball and throw it, catch it, do all the things. He never like spilled a beer.
Drop.
Yeah,
it's like that's the superhero power. You know what I mean? So.
It's like, goddamn.
If you could have one superhero power, to be, I would never
drop my beer.
Dropping my beer.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Cool. Nice.
But it was a good time. Play. They want me to play every week, and it would be at 8:30. 30 minutes
on Thursdays.
Podcast. Yeah. So we should go back to Tuesdays.
Well, maybe we just switch to Wednesdays. There's still one day of the week left.
Let's go to Tuesdays. Because of all the things that are going on with Blizzard, you shouldn't be playing WoW. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I should just quit all the games.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate.
That's been a thing, man. We are going to talk about it, but there has definitely been people do that. So we'll go there.
Yeah. But last week we asked. I think there's just a little bit of time left to vote on this. Maybe. No, maybe not. Final results. Okay, new meta podcast question of the week was from last week. Do you have faith in Path of Exile's recent nerfs? Option 1, in Chris Wilson we trust. Option 2, no, this league equals shit show. Option 3, this will be phase 1, ... And option 4, who cares, playing D3. I'm constantly surprised by these turnouts. Like I feel like we used to have more POE people vote on these polls. And now it seems like all the D3 fanboys come out for the polls, or Blizzard's like VPNing like crazy or something.
Yeah, VPN. Blizzard's just VPN, and that's really hard. All the walkouts.
Yeah, it's close between who cares playing D3 and Chris Wilson we trust.
Yeah,
but this will be phase 1, 3rd place.
We kind of have a little insight on it now,
sure.
Looking back for a week. So, but it's interesting. Well, we're definitely going to talk about the POE stuff.
Yeah, POE League
later
Start.
on. Yeah, and how that went.
And then this one, you're going to get a kick out of. Okay. And we're going to talk about this in a minute as well. Okay.
All right. Okay.
So, new meta podcast question of the week. Which is worse, turning in your challenge rift before the season starts, or turning in your challenge rift in softcore instead of hardcore on accident? Option 1, before the season. Option 2, before wrong core.
There we go. Let's see. So basically, this poll is who is stupider.
Stupider. I think that we just answered the question.
No, stupider is definitely a thing. Stupider is definitely a thing.
Okay.
So, if we didn't know, the season started last Friday.
It did,
and it was a good time.
Yeah,
we were ready to go for season start. We got in Discord, had the group ready. Talked clock turned 7 p.m. for us. That's when it goes live.
Yep.
And we made our characters and did our challenge rift.
We sure did. I was first.
And then what happened? What happened, Fluff?
I'd done it so fast, and I was gonna make the lobby, and unfortunately, because they were so slow, I was in the wrong. I was in softcore instead of hardcore because I'd never really clicked that skull in Diablo 3, right? Now, if they had been faster at their challenge rifts, and they would have invited me and be like, "Oh, I can't take your invite. Why not?" But alas,
it wouldn't have mattered because your character would have been created
fault.
before you finished it. You would have been boned either way, man. Yeah. So back-to-back seasons. I goofed up season 23.
Yep.
You goofed up season 24.
Right. But it actually didn't matter.
We carried hard.
It really didn't matter this time around.
We got as always, my 0 to 70 run, I was completely unlucky. I got nothing. I didn't get anything from Kadala. I got blues from Kadala. I didn't get any legendary drops. I got nothing the whole time. But luckily, Huckett on our team got super juiced. He got everything. He even got spare drops during the run that he was able to give me. So I actually got everything. My level 70 weapon only rolled -11. It wasn't very good.
Yeah. We got a Bloodshard Goblin at like level 11, and I got the gloves anyways. And so that was all we really needed. And that jettisoned us to the power weapon levels. And then once you guys got I still don't understand why the fucking tidal waves are going off every 2 seconds. It makes no sense to me, but monk leveling is insane.
Yeah. So monks carry hard once you hit 22. You got to get to 22, and then you get your spirit ally. And then it was like 26 or something, and you get the water rune. And it's just, at that point, it's game over. I mean, we were doing Torment, 1, 2 in hardcore with just that in itself. We were being ballsy enough to go up, and like we're not hardcore players, so to me, I was like, okay, let's juice it up, I guess, and see how high it goes. It went smooth, man. In all honesty, it went pretty smooth. So,
we were a well-oiled machine in hardcore. No one died. We had a few procs. I think the worst one was when what's his name crashed.
Yeah, Huckett crashed, and he got the super lag spikes. Still seem to be happening. And he got super lagged in a poison pool, and he procced in the poison pool, and it disappeared when he was at half health. So he barely lived. Like that was super sketchy. That sucked. After that, we all logged out and F-modded and did the little DLL fix.
Right.
Which sucks, man.
It does suck. I was surprised that seemingly nothing was kind of done. It seems like, you hit GR 90 plus, and then like that's when the lag really, really kicks in. And we were silky smooth before GR 90. Yeah. And all of a sudden, poof.
Yeah, I got to imagine it's a thing that they're trying to fix. I don't know. It's bad though.
So bad.
Yeah, but other than that, it was pretty smooth. My character is still alive. We had a good time on it, man. Like it was fun. I actually enjoyed playing hardcore much more than I thought I was. And I kind of expected to rip the first night, I was like, well, let's just push up and see. I ran out of keys. It was like, so we did 12 or 13 hours. We did a long session.
Yeah.
It was like 7:30, 8 a.m. Like I had been up for a long time. And I was exhausted, and so me and somebody else started pushing for rank 1 at the exact same time.
Oh, okay.
And they started like 10 or 15 minutes before me. So when I started, I was like, we had done like a 78 just to get primals unlocked, and they were at like 108. And I'm like, okay. So I start pushing up, and then so I get the 108, and I got like 109, and I checked, and they were at like 111. And I'm like, okay, cool. So then I push like a 112, and I check, and they're at like 113 or something. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So then I pushed the 113, and I beat their time, or 114 or whatever it was. And basically we just kept staggering. And then so I ran out of keys, and I was like, man, I am not farming more keys. I'm exhausted. I'm just gonna go to bed. So I ended up second. Like the two of us were far ahead of everybody else on the board when I quit. So
yeah, I was
And
just
nobody
able
was
to
playing Necro.
go in and just speed farm literally rank 1. So
Yeah, nobody was doing Necro.
well, I'm also the best Necro there ever was. So even if there
Yeah.
was someone,
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you.
let's be real.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was a fun night, man. And then I didn't actually get time to play weekend, so I fired it back up later in the week and farmed some more stuff, some more drops. Ethereals didn't drop for our team for the entire leveling process. I think we got our first ethereal around, weren't we Paragon 300-ish, like as a team before we got the first
I think
one?
one of us got one like in the hundies or something.
And then we didn't get any more, and then they started dropping like candy for me.
For you.
Then I ended up getting like 12 or something.
I got like 2.
Yeah, so then they were flowing. So the Blizzard hit
BS.
the streamer luck button for me or something.
Total BS.
So that was kind of
an
overview of the thing.
I was having fun. My plan was to log back in Saturday. I woke up around like 11. I sat down in front of the computer and I opened up my stash and I was like, okay, let's like sort this because I hate streaming that crap. And so like I was sorting my stash and then my hand like started bugging out. And so I was like, well, rip season. And I was like Monday before I could game again, and I was just like, man, like, that just that feeling that I don't know how we can escape this feeling of D3 of like if you lose days, you feel like you've lost the season already.
Yeah. Yeah. For me. I think you have like a week before the bots start to kick in but like Paragon's already nutty. So like last night, like I didn't play much over the weekend and I played for a couple hours on, I don't know, man, Tuesday, maybe Monday or Tuesday. And then last night I logged in and I was like, okay, let's do like we'll do a 3 or 4 or 5 hour session, something like that. Yeah. So I log in and start grinding and I'm Paragon like 850, 900, something like that, from the first day or first couple times. Yep. And then I group up with some people and they're already like 1500.
Yep.
Just like, damn, dude.
Crazy.
1500 and on the less than the first week. Like that's pretty nuts. Yep. So
nutty.
Yeah, Paragon Creep's pretty legit. It's pretty real. So I don't know, but the opening weekends are fun, man. Like to be honest, I wasn't super hyped for this season. This was probably the least hyped I've ever been for a Diablo season launch, and it was fun. This is one of my more fun season launches. This was a great season launch. It was a good time. So whatever it is, man, they still capture that opening weekend magic. It's still a good time. That first day is still such a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, I was intrigued to like get some Poison Scythe going, and I think if I would have hit that, like you hit like both GG primals, or not primals, but ethereals, like night 1. I think if I had gotten that ethereal, I might have been more motivated to play.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I have so many now. It's pretty nutty. They I don't know what was up with our drop luck early in the levels, but now they're just like they flow. They drop pretty consistent. So I don't think it's going to be as hard to farm them as I initially thought. I think I just had a string of bad luck.
Damn.
At least for me. At least I've been lucky. So what about POE? Tell me about, you started up before the Diablo season launched. You started on POE.
Yep.
So like, how was the launch? Was it full of bugs? Did it crash? Like, tell me like, what's your thoughts? Like, just give me the POE juice. What's the deal?
Yeah, as far as like league launches go and performance and stuff like that, it was perfect. Like really, it was perfect. I didn't even really get any kind of lag or stuttering or anything. I think
that's awesome.
The most flawless I've probably ever seen. Like usually, like when a league launches, like at least on like the beach, you'll just like get some stuttering because there's just like so many people in that area or something like that. But this was like really smooth. So
that's good.
What
about the change to the Act 1? Was Act difficult now?
No.
Or what?
I mean, maybe I'm not the best person to ask because I'm not like speed racing through it. But to me, it felt the same. I mean, obviously it was doing less damage and I could feel the effects of that, but I didn't really feel anything was more difficult. I didn't get that feeling at all.
So it was just slower.
Yeah.
You're doing less damage.
Slower. Right. So
Act 1 boss wasn't any more difficult.
No.
It wasn't a challenge. You didn't panic, like, no clinched moments. Like, oh man.
Not at all.
Huh. Interesting.
And then it even slowed down a bit further because like I went from Cobra Lash to like playing the Blade Trap, going to Poison Assassin, Poison Assassin, and it slowed down a bit after that because the traps are like kind of shitty when they do poison damage, I guess, early on. But
yeah,
I picked up. We're in the maps now, like
cool.
T4.
Cool.
But it's still pretty casual for me, obviously.
Yeah. So overall thoughts on?
I think
we got some POE stuff. Do you want to just jump into the POE stuff now, and then we'll back?
Yeah,
up to
sure.
The other
Sure.
Yeah.
I think that it was silky smooth, so that was really cool. I'm glad for POE. I hope if they paid any streamers to play this time that it worked out in their favor. I didn't see anyone like big in the directory other than the people that are normally there. So I don't know if that was a thing this time around, but I think that they went overboard with obviously the mana stuff. I think it's probably a misplay to do all these damage nerfs, which I'm on board with all the damage nerfs. I think it makes sense. Yeah. But like doing the mana multiplier nerf and the damage buff at the same time, I think was probably just a lot for people to wrap their head around. Easily could have been like a couple different patches, and maybe it would have pissed people off a little bit less. But there's Reddit. Reddit's freaking out like Reddit does.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, most people that are like long-term Path of Exile players are like, well, yeah, like the mana thing sucks, and they've already kind of come out and said like we're gonna revisit the mana multipliers like soon. We're probably gonna revert a lot of them and stuff like that. But
do you think they mean soon, as in like this league, or you think they mean next league?
I think they'll do it this league. Is what I kind of gathered. I didn't get the impression that it would be like soon, but it would be like not that far away. It's already done. It was a couple days ago. Already done. Okay, well, there you go.
They had some patch notes. They even updated some shit today. Even like late tonight, they dropped some more patch notes. So.
But yeah, and then if I'm being honest about the new league mechanic, I hate currency shards. I hate currency shards is my least favorite thing in Path of Exile. And basically you do this like encounter where you lay the dynamite, which is, I'm all for it. Like you have to like strategically think about like, okay, well, I want to open these chests, or I want to kill these mobs, or I want to trigger this like special encounter, and like the encounters will, make chests drop more things. So you want to like make sure you do things in the right order, and things can only go so far. So you have to like kind of plot what you want to blow up. It's kind of like Harvest in that way. It's like you're plotting your strategy of how you're going to handle the encounter. But you finish it, and then like you open up a bunch of chests, and you just get all these like currency shards, which you use on the vendors. And I do think the vendors are pretty cool. Like I haven't got to do a ton, but like the gambling for currency thing is great, because like it helps you. It kind of brings back that ritual sense of like, okay, well, I'm out of chaos orbs. I really use more chaos orbs, so you could just like, basically give all your juice to the guy to try to get chaos orbs and like focus farm some of that currency, which is great if you can get enough of the reroll things. The gamble guy, I haven't seen anything cool coming at him at all. But I do think the crafting merchant is pretty interesting, and I'm excited to dig more into that, because it's kind of just like having your own crafting machine, but he's like a vendor. And I did do a couple of the what are they called? Like the special the logbooks already, and those are pretty rewarding. I did think that was worth it. You could like spec out where you path where you want to path, and you get the rewards that you want, which is great. I like being able to like focus farm stuff. So far it's felt pretty good. I know those aren't dropping that much for people, and there's been some complaints there, but
did you get to do any mini bosses? Any of the new bosses?
No. I'm only T3 white map. I mean, we can't.
Yeah, I don't know what's required to unlock them, so I didn't know.
I don't either. But it's usually like probably like you're into yellow, red maps before you see a boss or something.
That's cool.
But yeah, and so again, reactive to the mana stuff, which is great. And I don't know, the league feels good so far. I know that special shield throw is like insane, and there's some stuff that slipped through the nerf cracks and stuff like that, but I don't know, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so if you look at this that article that you have on, On the second paragraph, it says we've expressed concern that fewer people play this expansion than the previous two. To be transparent, that number is 23% fewer players joined us at launch compared to our all-time record. And this is something we were prepared for. How do you think that's in direct relation to the nerfs? Like what are your thoughts on that? Like how do you feel about 20 roughly 25% less players this league?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, I guess. Like, is it people just like banding together and be like, no, to show our distaste, we're gonna like not play or something like that? I don't know. I hope it's not like a trend that like.
Yeah, is it burnout like the last couple leagues were? Well, I guess the last one wasn't, but
Yeah, I mean, like Ultimatum didn't hit, and maybe there was some like, oh, well, I'm not really interested to see what the next thing is, or maybe they came back to see what the next thing was and like see their build get buffed or see the new mechanic being really awesome, and they just like weren't impressed by either, and then saw the nerfs. Did you see
the link that's got the league launch numbers in it?
No, where's that?
Okay, so in the schedule at 9:40, you'll see the launch numbers by league. There you go.
Okay.
So that's a pretty interesting graphic, I think. The transparency, like what game publisher first off gives these numbers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody ever puts transparency out like
this. Is this Steam though? Is this the Steam again, or is this all numbers?
I don't know where these numbers came from, to be honest with you. So you could take it with a grain of salt. I can't remember exactly where they came from, but it's if we're taking it at face value, though, it looks like this, and these numbers, reflect roughly what they said: 23% less players. But yeah, man, if you look at this, like Ritual and Ultimatum were crazy, like crazy successful, and then you look at this one and it dropped down. Blight was super low too. Like I don't know what happened with Blight. I guess people didn't like Blight. I think they said Classic came out.
Yeah, Blight was one of the ones that they had. Yeah,
they launched during Classic window.
I love Blight.
So that would make sense too. But yeah, it's just interesting, man. It's cool to see numbers. I like the transparency. The drop off was high, 21% from Friday to Saturday drop off, which is the biggest margin they've ever had.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. That's Sunday peak.
It's interesting to see how players react to nerfs, though. Like to me, I think I've got to feel like some of this comes from the nerf stick that they smashed the game with nerfs. They made it more difficult in Act 1. And even though I think it's a good thing for the game state overall, you can look at player reactions to it. And it's just like, man, if they lost 23% of their player base, you got to imagine that revenue's down, at least that number, if not more,
Yeah.
So
some of the reactions I've seen, like from Rise and Quinn and some other guys, is like they kind of feel like GGG's doing this on purpose. Like they're trying to trim, kind of like the Reddit scum, the people that bitch and...
You think? Why?
I mean, I think it's a meme.
Who cares?
Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know. Like the people.
I've seen those reactions too. People are saying like they don't want you to play. Like I saw the the Rise clip where he's like, they don't want you to play. They're like saying leave. You know what I mean? So yeah, I saw that. It was pretty. Yeah, people were upset about that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's been some mixed reaction to how the league's going. I think that again, most of like the streamers I've seen have been like, this is needed, this is good, and they just keep going. But I've seen a lot of people kind of freak out and be like, I'm done with Path of Exile and stuff like that too. So
right. So what about this Twitch Rivals stuff, man? Did you check any of this out?
What's it about? It sucks because I started to sign up and I got distracted by something, and so like I didn't get in, but. So yeah, Twitch, if you guys aren't familiar, Twitch Rivals is like a thing that Twitch does, and it's like a tournament of streamers, basically, which is pretty cool. And, Path of Exile has the Royale thing that they're doing every weekend, and they rolled out a special Twitch Rivals BR tournament, which was, shoutcasted by Rise and Octavian, and they, Rise has been doing that for a really long time. I think they do a good job, and it was entertaining to watch. I checked in from time to time. While I was working today, but it's cool, man. I mean, I love to see this stuff. I would love to see, more competitive ARPG stuff. I think that there is a lot to be explored in competitiveness within ARPG. I think that hopefully Lost Ark will enlighten some of the PvP for D4 or something like that. But yeah, and $30,000 in prizes. I think that's like $5,000 for the people that get first or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Dude, that's crazy dope.
Yep, and then they've been balancing the VR too. So I think this is something that GGG is kind of committing to a little bit. I like the fact that they're doing the rivals. They're trying to get that. Like I don't know if GGG had any involvement in setting up the rivals. I would imagine they had some hand in it a little bit. And then they're balancing the BR, which is cool. Like they're still taking feedback and iterating on it. So they put out patch notes at like 6 p.m. today. And a lot of it were bug fixes, like you can read through it, but they have Royale specific changes, and there's literally like an entire page of changes that they've already made. And they can, like at the top, it's like players who disconnect from a Royale match now leave behind a corpse, allowing their items to be looted. Like they're already like looking at things and going like, yo, we need to fix this or fix that, and they're adjusting skill damages.
Oh yeah, big time.
Passive tree changes, item changes. So that's cool, man. Like they're actually taking this serious, and I think that's super dope. So
yeah,
I'm into it.
Hopefully people still keep playing it and they keep tuning it. That'd be great.
I think making it a weekend event thing is pretty cool too.
Yeah, pretty smart.
It's not always there to just be like, oh yeah, no, whenever. It's like, oh, it's weekend, let's do it. It's a weekend thing. So
true. Agreed.
But yeah, I think that's it on the POE stuff. Unless you had anything else to hit?
No.
Okay. In other news, did we talk about this last pod? I think we did. A little bit.
We just dipped our toes in.
But like, so Blizzard, I'm going to recap it really quickly. And I'm not an expert. I haven't spent hours of my life researching exactly what the lawsuit says and all this, because honestly, I don't really want to know that much. But Blizzard has been sued by the state of California. And then after they got sued, Blizzard kind of downplayed it a little bit, and they had a statement, and like part of it, paraphrasing, was like, we value diversity and strive to foster a better workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. And then they also said distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. Like, so they tried to downplay this lawsuit, which then pissed everybody off, and people at Blizzard Activision organized a walkout yesterday at 10 a.m.
Good on you.
And so I guess there was, I don't know, several hundred people that left and walked out. And then employees, obviously reporters were there and talking, and employees made statements like, that's pretty untrue. These things have been happening right up to current day. And then so the Activision CEO, Bobby Kotick, says, this is funny, in our initial response to the issues we faced together, we were quite frankly tone deaf. And it's like how often are they going to use the tone deaf thing? It's like he said the same thing about the Immortal reveal and
Jab at BlizzCon, what was it, 2019? He's like, we'll be better, we'll do better.
Yeah. So
it's just words, man.
So that's kind of like a small recap of kind of what's going down, and we'll see how this plays out. But that kind of leads into the next section of it, which Jeff Hamilton, who is a senior system designer on World of Warcraft, put out a post, and he said, I don't know what to do. I don't have all the answers. I can tell you that almost no work is being done on World of Warcraft right now while this Ascendancy plays out, and that benefits nobody, not the players, not the developers, not the shareholders. And I just think that that's interesting that he would post that, he would tweet that. I mean, he's just straight up saying like, yo, we're not working on the game, a game that's already in a bad spot that people are actively walking away from, freaking out about. And the content drought for WoW has been absolutely atrocious. It's the worst of any expansion ever by far, not even close. I mean, it's not even 9 months between content that didn't even hit the mark, I think. So it just makes you wonder, man, what's going on with the D4 team? What's going on with the D2 resurrected team? What's going on with Overwatch, and like
Yeah.
I'm assuming all the games are stopped right now. They're
Totally.
like, yo, what the fuck?
For sure.
You know. So this isn't good, man. Like I want good things for Blizzard. I wish good things on Blizzard because I like their games. I like their IPs. But this is another oops.
Yeah, man. I mean, it sucks because I feel like in the last like year and a half, or maybe even a little bit more, at least in the Diablo front, we've seen such a, I don't know, for me, a huge turnaround. Like, right? Like, I feel like the culture got like way better.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it makes me wonder, like, the new people coming in, was it a result of something, or like, were there other people let go for any other reasons, or I don't know. But it just sucks to see, like, okay, well, I doubt that any of them had any knowledge of what was going on at all, and so like now they're kind of stepping into like a role at Blizzard, and like they've been doing a great job, but like there's just so much negative press with Blizzard right now that's like, oh, you're like, oh, you work for Blizzard, like you're
that sucks.
You're okay with right. And then I even got that right on season launch. Like people were coming in chat and be like, how can you even play a Blizzard game? Like you're a piece of shit and blah blah blah. It's like, Jesus, I'm just playing Diablo.
I got that too, man. So like we had somebody on my raid team in TBC Classic not show up for raid, and then the excuse was, I say excuse, maybe, I don't know, man, maybe people's different than me, but they were like, yeah, I'm gonna not raid anymore because of this. And to me, I'm like,
damn,
okay, like,
I mean, I agree with them. You should stop raiding on Tuesdays.
My mindset doesn't go there, really. Like, yes, like, I don't know, man. I don't think that not, I don't know. I guess some people want to boycott the games in I guess protest to stand up for what they feel is right. But to me, I look at it like, well, you just screwed over all your teammates that are relying on you to be there, like players. You're not really hurting Blizz that much. I mean, I guess if you cancel your sub, maybe, but I don't know, man. It's it's definitely affected people. Like I didn't think that I would see anybody from the raid team not show up because of it. I didn't think that I would get people in stream being like, how are you still playing Diablo because of it? Because I got the same thing. You know what I mean? So
I get it though. Like, I don't know. It sucks because like these games were definitely around when the shit was going down, and probably shit went down in these games departments. You know what I mean? Like, so I get that mentality of like, okay, well, like, fuck these guys, especially if your game's in like a real shitty state. Now here we are, we're talking about Diablo 3, and the state that it's been in for like the last 4 or 5 years has been abysmal. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of just looking for that like final nail in the coffin, and like this is an easy, this is it, right? And it looks good for this, this to be it, and be like, well, I'm walking away because like they're, I'm a civil
if you
rights
walk away
activist.
Because of this, can you come back? Can you be like, okay, so let's say
that's
that's
a good point. Like, WoW comes out with a banging expansion, and then you come back.
You're that guy, and you're like, yo, man, this is bullshit. Like, I can't believe I'm not going to support this company, blah blah blah. And then like 6 months from now, they release 9.3 in WoW, and it's just amazing. It's just so good. And then they're like, oh, hey guys, I'm back. Like, doesn't that a little self-serving? Like, doesn't, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So
I saw that on I've heard this guy's voice before. I don't know who he is.
This is Preach. So
yeah, go ahead.
I can't hear. I don't know if you're playing.
No, I'm not playing.
So Preach is a really big creator in the WoW directory. He would be like your Ziz of WoW,
Okay.
Controversial guy at times. He's done things to get himself banned and blacklisted from Blizzard. But he's pretty, I like him. Honestly, he's one of my favorite WoW content creators. I think he's extremely fair, and I agree with his viewpoints most of the time. So but yeah, he says he's not going to cover WoW. I actually haven't seen this video. I keep meaning to watch it, and I haven't yet. So
okay.
I don't know what he says in it. Have you actually got to watch it at all or no?
I think it was along those same lines, like, oh, this is just like kind of the final nail in the coffin, and
Yeah.
the
I think it
end
has
of
to
an
do with
era.
content drought and
Right.
stuff. And you're like, yeah, and just it's not the same, man. So but yeah, there's people that are walking away, and it's interesting.
And then
But
I
like I
saw.
said,
Go ahead.
when they come back with some banger, if they come back with some banger expansion, like are all these people gonna come running back and be like, yo, it's back and I love you, and like, oh, this is
That'd be a
amazing.
weird play.
Like to me, it's just like once you're like, oh man, fuck them, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can back up from that.
I agree. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in the Diablo directory. I've seen YouTube videos of, Diablo streamers being like, I'm done with this game. They don't support it. And they make a YouTube video about it. It's like this big clickbait thing. And then I've seen them back in the directory. So it's like,
yeah, it's like, yeah,
it's a weird move.
As soon as it benefits you, you're going to come back.
Right. So don't make the I quit forever video.
Yeah, don't make the video.
Right.
Be like, I'm pissed for a little bit, but I might come back.
Right. You can always, that's the thing that drives me nuts. Like, especially PChild. Like, when people make these big, long posts, it's like, I've been paying, like, I've been buying the super packs, the $300 packs since, like, every league, and now they've nerfed blah, blah, blah. So I refuse, I'm not going to pay this league, and blah, blah, blah. Like, just take a break, dude. Like, it's fine. Just don't play this league. Come back.
Because in 2 or 3 leagues, you're going to be back and like, yo, check out my starter guide for blah, blah, blah. It's the best guild in the game. I love this game. It's so fun. And you should play it. And it's just like, dude.
Especially if you're crazy in the Path of Exile, because you are a very specific type of gamer that will probably not be satiated by most of the games. Like 95% of the games on the internet are probably not going to be complicated enough for you. So, I don't know.
So
I can never get mad. Yeah, so here's...
This is Brevik.
Yeah, okay. Brevik tweeted out.
Okay. I didn't see this.
Yeah, so someone tweeted him and said, you've been surprisingly quiet on the recent issues. Did Blizzard North have these cultural issues, or is it more of an Irvine thing? And Brevik tweeted out, says, I have been vocal about it on our stream, but not here on Twitter. I'm outraged and furious. I'm so upset I can barely talk about it. My heart breaks thinking about the pain, suffering, trauma the victims went through. And then he goes, this was not the culture at Blizzard North. We had one incident and I fired the instigator right away. He happened to be my best friend of 10 plus years, but it didn't matter. Post Blizzard, there have been a few incidents and my policy is no tolerance. I fired them all. I'm happy that employees at Blizzard are standing up to management and demanding change. I wholly support them. However, this event has had such a profound impact on me that I doubt I will ever support Blizzard in any way again. I hope victims find some justice, and I hope this becomes a force for change, not just Blizzard, but industry-wide. Treat people with respect. It isn't that hard.
See, like, these guys are so outraged about it. I almost feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing, like, the details of the court case or how widespread it was. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, I need to do more research into it, because I know that California sued them. And I know they downplayed it. And I guess it doesn't matter if it's one person or if it's 50. Like, I mean, those to that one person, it's the same, right? It's still a huge thing that should never have happened. But it's just like, to not support the company because of other people acting out. I don't know, man. Like, I just got to get more details on it, because there's been so many people saying like, I'm done with Blizz. It's pretty nutty,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and
because to say that you're done forever is that's a huge statement. That it's hard to walk back on that. Like if Brevik says that and D4 comes out and he likes it, he's like, oh man, this game's great. Well, it's like, well, didn't you just say in like 21 that you're like done with Blizz forever? You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
Who knows, man? And I think this is pretty serious because, like, Blizzard could be facing some serious action here, and if all these allegations are 100% accurate, then like that's gonna be pretty hard to recover from as a business. Like we could see, I mean, some of our games could actually be in jeopardy, like no cap. But there's what we read last week about the frat boy culture and like the booze and the going around the cubicles and like being inappropriate to women, openly joking about rape. And then like this article where it's like they're holding a giant picture of fucking Bill Cosby. Like what?
Yeah, you're pretty stupid if you're in that picture.
For sure. And then there's
like when that was going that's pretty bad. So I don't know the people in the picture. I'm sure other people have already outed them. Does it list list names of people in there. I'm sure they've already been.
Yeah, former World of Warcraft developer Alex Afrasiabi and other former Blizzard.
He got pulled out. I think they like actually are modding all his content out of the game. Like his tributes are in game or something. They're taking him out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a lot deeper than I realized, man. Because like I said, I'm openly, admittedly ignorant to exactly what the accusations are, like from how many people, how many things. I did read the cube crawl stuff.
Yeah.
And like, okay, but that's like a handful. At least the scope is something that I'm not sure on. But that's a couple managers crawling around that are like dressing up their cubicles to make them like some kind of theme, and people walking and touring them. And so like, if one guy is like smack some girl in the butt or something, then that's that dude. That's not the whole management. That's not everybody in the team, unless it's got downplayed. Like I don't know exactly how bad this stuff is. So it's crazy though, man. Like this is not good for Blizzard, man.
No.
This is not good at all. Like there's nothing good that's going to happen from this from anybody. Like Blizzard execs are going to get fired. Employees are upset or are hurt or whatever. Games are going to suffer. The consumers, us, the gamers, are going to suffer. Like nobody's winning, man, at all. Zero. There's zero win from this.
Totally.
So, I mean, stock prices will plummet to the ground. So maybe when the stock prices hit rock bottom, we can buy some Blizz stock, and if they recover, we'll be good. So there you go, man. This is I don't know, man.
Who knows, man?
But
I guess there's a lead dude from D4 in this photo too. So it's not good.
That's crazy. You gotta think. You also gotta think like the employees. So the people that are like, I'm gonna cancel my sub, right? They're like, oh, I'm not playing World of Warcraft again because of this. I'm canceling my sub. But the people that are working there trying to live, like you're indirectly hurting them, not helping them by doing that too. Like
Who?
The people. Like if you worked at Blizzard, right?
Yeah, I don't think the people at Blizzard are getting paid actively from fucking. Wow,
no, they're not getting paid.
They're sitting on a stockpile of money. That
they're not getting paid directly from your sub. But what happens if everybody goes and cancels their sub because of this? Then they're gonna lose their job. They're gonna be like, okay, you don't have a job, go find a job. I doubt that would be their concern right now. I'm just saying, man. Like, I think their knee-jerk reaction to, I'm canceling my sub, F the man. I don't think it F's the man. I think it F's the employee. You know what I mean? I think Blizzard's F'd either way. And I don't know, man. I just don't think that the knee-jerk of, I'm going to cancel my sub.
I mean, I think that everyone, if you think that you feel like you should cancel your sub, you should cancel your sub. I definitely don't think that it's like, oh, you shouldn't. Let's not be hasty. Don't, like, if you feel like you should, period.
Yeah. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying I just don't. All I see right now is a lot of knee jerk. I see a lot of people that are like, I'm done, and I'm like, what am I missing? Like, what big thing is going on here that is would make you ultimatum? Like, I'm never messing with them again. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Must be deeper than I realized.
Yeah, just fucking classic misogynistic bullshit happening at Blizzard all the time, I guess. Which is gross. It's gross. It's and which is so weird because it's like it's a fucking video game company. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, I just don't understand. Like,
I don't know, man.
This is not like Wolf of fucking Wall Street. It's goddamn Blizzard. Like,
we've gone a long way from like post a selfie of yourself with the Switch to win a Switch. You know what I mean? Like, like this is like that was the start of this rabbit hole. That's just like, man, Blizzard legitimately can't buy a W right now. Like but
they also don't seem like they deserve a W.
No, but it's crazy. It's like, dude, how do you go? Like, how do you keep just digging this hole, man?
Best case scenario here is this does shake things up a lot, and we see like a ton of like rebuilding and tearing everything out and tearing everything apart, and then like just kind of starting from scratch, and then maybe even like, what if Activision dropped Blizzard? Great, and then like Blizzard can like return to potentially being like a company of gamers making games for gamers.
Shit, they're not giving up those IPs, man. They'll just fire everybody, and it's just Activision now, you know. So
who knows, man?
I don't know.
Honestly, like to me, like even if I don't know, I hate saying this stuff like that because we don't have total insight on what's going on with Diablo and stuff like that. But you know, more turnover in the Diablo 4 team, I can't see as being that negative. But what do I know?
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on over there. We just see like, you know, kind of casual decisions being made, and it's like, God damn it.
We'll see. We'll see. You know, when in the fallout will be if people don't work there anymore.
Yeah, this
like
is not going to be the last podcast we talk about this for sure. This is
it'll be like, oh, so and so just left or resigned or quit, and like, is it related to this? Probably. You know, and then so now it's like, okay, so now we have these higher ups in the D4 team that are gone, or the WoW team that are gone, or whatever. So pretty crappy, man. But that's really all I have for now. So we'll see how this plays out, how this unfolds. Was there anything else? We had some Halo stuff. What's this Halo juice? Let's
yeah.
Oh, this other company.
So the Halo did a technical deep dive of some of the multiplayer, and like, so in the whole video they went over like, okay, you know, obviously you can customize your Spartan, like that's nothing new or surprising there. They showed some gameplay, like an awful player on this like sand map, and the map looks good.
Like CS:GO, dude.
I'd say that the thing that looks interesting to me is like the time to kill seems like really fast for a Halo game, and like this DMR shoots like a fucking assault rifle basically. So yeah, I'm curious how to see, like, I know there's gonna be a ton of different weapon variants, and so I wonder if it's gonna be just a matter of time.
He just one hit melee kill that guy.
Yeah, you assassinate.
He already hurt.
If you hit from behind, it's an assassination in Halo.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, it looks good. I'm excited. I am a little saddened that the cool movement stuff from Halo 5 isn't coming back. They're kind of going back to like, you know, the
boots on the
ground.
Yeah.
Special powers, and they're going back to loadouts from Halo 4. And I remember loadouts not being very popular, so I'm kind of surprised with that decision.
If you can't rocket boots or jump around, like what really differentiates this from like a COD? Like just
again, because I see that TTK, the time to kill, is like really fast. So I think they're kind of going for like a more COD this Halo. I don't know. I kind of expect this to be a lot faster.
How does that make you feel? It makes me cringe a little. Are you okay with that or not okay with that?
I don't know. Like, you know, Halo needs to adapt or die kind of thing. I really hate the trend of all these video games going away from like, you know, more skill. I really hate that, like, which is additional movement and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, they have to change. Like, I don't know. I think that people do want the fast COD, you know, time to kill. They want to be a total noob and just like camp it up and be able to kill like a pro player if they're in the perfect scenario or whatever. Versus, you know, if you're a god tier Halo player in most Halos and some total noob shooting at you, you're just gonna turn around, you're gonna out juke them, you're gonna kill them 100%. Like, you're probably even gonna walk away unscathed most of the time. So I think they do want to capitalize on some of that like COD mentalities, like shoot first, you win first kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I think people enjoy that for some reason, but
maybe it serves the average player base.
Yeah, totally
elitist. You know what I mean?
So. And then they go into like game options, and it's like, okay, like you're gonna be able to mark targets for the first time and drop weapons for your friends for the first time. It's like, this is not really like innovative stuff.
That's like Apex shit.
Yeah,
or
this is like really
stuff.
common current year shit.
Yeah.
And then they talk about customization of like your little AI that's in your head, all of your armor. Like, this was not a surprise in any way, shape, or form. They talk about the battle pass and like, you know, the tiers. Like, there'd be a free tier and a, you know, paid tier, just like you would exactly.
That scares me too, man. The free tier.
Well,
I don't think it's gonna scare at all. Battle pass. No. Free tier for battle pass is okay. Did they say the cost of entry for the game? Multiplayer is free. Yeah. That scares me just for bots, dude. But
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
that's why I'm scared. Like any free to play game, people are going to cheat at it because they're just going to make a new account when they get banned. Like, I don't care. I'm just going to make a new account and cheat some more.
Yeah.
So like that's the crappy part about free to play. That's why I like the pay to entry fee. Is it like Overwatch? You're not going to keep dropping $40 to keep cheating in Overwatch.
Yeah.
You're either going to stop playing or you're going to get banned and walk away. So
yeah. And it's funny because like someone in the chat was just like, "Oh, give me Halo 3 combat," blah blah blah. And like I think this is the problem. Like with all these games, right? Like you got the people in POE, they're like, "I like the way POE is right now, don't ever change it," blah blah blah. And you've got the people in like Call of Duty that like, "I want boots on the ground. I want like the familiar COD we've had for years and years and years, and I just want to buy that game every year for the rest of my life, and I'll be the happiest person in the world." And you've got people in the Halo campers, like Halo 2 and 3, you know, to a lot of people were the best Halos of all time, so they just literally want that game again. And I think the one thing that Halo's done right, and they keep, you know, failing at it, is every single game they changed. They changed a lot. Besides, from Halo 2 to Halo 3, that was the least bit of change we ever saw from a Halo. And that was, Halo 3 was what made me walk away. Because it was like, this is exactly the same. And I didn't like that. Because Halo 2 was so different from Halo 1. And I loved Halo 1. But I like adapted and played Halo 2. I was like, well, Halo 3 will be like really different too. But then it was exactly the same game. But then, you know, Halo Reach came out and that was totally different. Halo 4 came out and that was totally different. Halo 5 came out and it was totally fucking different. And now it's like, it kind of does seem like they're kind of going back for that Halo 2, Halo 3 nostalgia of just like, you know, your Spartan jumps and he walks. And I guess there's sprint, so it's different. But
he can climb up a ledge.
Yeah.
You know? Nice.
Clamor. Yay.
Yeah. I wasn't like from a gameplay perspective, it didn't look too like, oh, this looks amazing. This looks innovative. This looks, you know, juice. Like this is a technical preview, I think, or alpha, right? What was this? What do they call this?
Technical preview.
A technical preview. So like, you know, it doesn't have all the juice, like all the graphical fidelity and things. But it's okay looking. This didn't get me super excited.
Yeah. They talk about these like training camp things that they're gonna have, so you can like, you know, this first Halo will have bots, so that's a big thing for some people. Which again is like, okay, well, it's like, yeah, like that's just a thing you should have, just like the dropping a weapon for your friend or, you know, marking a target. Like this is, and they treat it like kind of like features, like, oh, this Halo's gonna happen. It's like, oh wow,
like, We're had that for 7 years.
And so they talk about how like they're gonna maybe make these competitive, you know, like who can get the best score on your friends list and stuff like that or whatever, which, you know, seems all right. I think this would be great for like getting your aim right, you know, like on, like if, say for me, like I'm a terrible PC shooter still, but this would help a lot. And you don't have to download those like aim helper programs,
and
right?
test guns and stuff too. Like
test guns and So that was, I mean, this was like, okay, cool. Again, like this exists in games. Like you're not doing anything innovative here. Like let's, you know, your Halo, right? Like you guys pioneered like common day shooters, and like there's just like no risks, it feels like, being taken here at all. But you know, that's not the play anymore. Again, they're going after, like, I think the Call of Duty model where 0 risks are taken in Call of Duty, like fucking 0. And it just sells and sells and sells and makes a ton of money. So, I mean, I'm still really excited to play. I'm just excited to play Halo again, to be honest. It's always been my jam, and I think the cool
thing about Halo, it's got so much hype behind the property. Like it's the biggest known. I mean, you could maybe argue Call of Duty's bigger at this point, but it's one of the biggest names in shooters. And so when this comes out, and if it's free to play, everybody and their mom's playing this. Like everybody that has any desire to ever touch an FPS will play this game. So the player pool will be big.
Yeah,
and I think
free.
Yeah, and that'll be fun. It'll be fun to play. The bigger the player pool, the bigger the skill gap you're going to fight. You're going to fight noobs, and you're going to destroy people and have a good time, and you're going to fight pros and get crapped on, and then be like, oh, I aspire to be that good. This is what I need to hit. And so I think that you'll have those games and those swings, and it won't just be like in Apex right now, when the season launches, there's a decent variety of players. But after a couple weeks, I feel like every game I go against is I'm playing pros every match. Like there's no noobs that are still in the lobbies,
Yeah.
And so, and I feel like it's one of the things that they'll have in this is they'll have so many players playing, and that'll be fun. And it's Halo, so like I hope they kill it. I hope they nail it. But again, man, all the stuff I see though, nothing makes me be like, this is gonna be sick. Like nothing's like, yo, this is insane. So this just looks like a FPS right now, like the footage we're watching.
Yeah, to me, it kind of feels like Halo's first iteration of like doing the COD formula, and I'm still excited to play it because it's going to be a new Halo, and there's going to be like what you said, there's going to be that new hype around, like everyone's going to be playing it, and that's going to be super fun. It's always fun to like get into an FPS, especially an FPS like early on. It's just always a good time because there's so many people playing, and there's so many like bad people, there's so many like intense,
and it's free, so you can play with anybody. You're like, hey, you want to play some Halo? I don't have it. Oh, it's free. Just download it. Cool. Let's go.
Yeah, but I'm worried about longevity. I'm worried about the future of Halo, of course. But
yeah. Oh, I should go buy a new Xbox for this. Oh wait, they're gonna put it on PC.
Hell yeah, dude. That's gonna be great. And
that's
completely
great. It's
crossplay.
amazing. I mean, they totally screwed their Xbox sales, but that's fine. I'm happy. Thank you. I don't have to buy an Xbox Series X now.
Windows sales? I don't know. Fuck.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's really weird, man. That's just such a weird marketing. I guess that's a great marketing strategy. Like I'm talking shit on Microsoft. It's actually probably a really good one for consumers. But yeah. But that's cool. When are they? Did they talk about release? Is it still holiday this Christmas? Was that what it was? When's the release date?
Still Q4. So that could be anything. I think the first like alpha or whatever is this weekend. And I hadn't signed up, unfortunately. I'm signed up for everything with Halo, but they made like this is somehow separate. So I'm like a Halo Waypoint subscriber, and I like have all the notifications turned on. But this is like a separate thing, which is so.
If you guys get access to this, hook your boy Fluff up with some alpha.
Right.
Okay? That's what he's saying. If you get an access key, slide in his DMs and be like, yo, here's my account, Fluff. You can check it out.
I'll make your service record look real nice.
Yeah. I'll or really bad with your hand. Who knows? So
I think I could play on a controller, no problem. I think this, with this Halo, we'll be going back because I think I might be done with keyboard and mouse for like shooters. I think it's just too much stress on my left hand. I don't know what it is. But yeah,
we'll sign up for it though. Like, is it? Well, I guess I'll find the link. You can Google it. I'm sure. I'll sign up too and see if we can get access. I know I'd happily hook you up with access if I got it. So.
Oh yeah, dude. So are you gonna be playing this? Like, say this. This is Q4.
Yeah.
And
sure.
What if this came out like the same weekend as like a Diablo 3 season? Or
I'm definitely gonna play Halo. Yeah, cool. I'm in. I'm down. Like if it's a fun game, I'm down to keep playing it. But for the opening weekend, I'll definitely check it out. And if it's bad, then sucks. Sucks. Off to you. Like I would look for a nice Apex replacement. Like I like Apex. I think it's fun to play.
Yeah.
I don't play it a lot, but I actually really enjoy playing it. I think I played Apex a lot less because I don't have people to play with. You're the only person that I really play Apex with. So other than you, I always pug, and that's not near as much fun.
No.
So if I can get a group of people that are playing Halo and it's a fun Apex replacement, then man, I'm down. I think it'd be a blast. So
it's weird because like in Apex, like I get a bad team, and like that's incredibly frustrating. But I actually kind of enjoy having a bad team in Halo because it's like, okay, my team fucking sucks. We're getting dominated, but like, let's see how well I can do.
Yeah.
And that's always like kind of fun, actually, to me for some reason.
Yeah.
Just Halo.
And in Apex, if you're going against anybody that's competent, any team that's competent, like a 1v3, like if they're good, like you're probably not going to pull it off unless you're just God tier yourself. So
yeah. Totally. I mean, but like in a 4v4, like Halo, it's incredibly difficult to get anything. The team's good. They're team shotting. You're gonna die.
That's
like
true for
instantly.
Any shooter. Yeah,
right?
you're
gonna peek out.
It gets a good team.
But it's fun to like try to get wily and like unpredictable and like still get some kills and stuff. So
it'll be weird. I'm like not a big fan of boots on the ground style games though. I like verticality. I like to be able to jump and like Destiny has the their boost jumping or rocket jumps, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And Apex, they have classes with mobility. You have, you know, Reaper can climb really high. Your boy Pathfinder has his grapple hook.
Keeps getting
so like
nerfed,
there's ways to like get around the map.
Yep.
And so with this, man, I don't know what classes they're gonna have, or how are they gonna do classes, or
I think it's just like weapons for loadouts and stuff like that.
Buildouts and stuff, and
yeah, like everything else will just be like a power up that you know that gets timed, which they're showing like in your UI. You're gonna be able to see like when power ups come up and what they are and stuff like that.
And power ups that you pick up on the map.
Just like any Halo, like so Halo's all about like power weapons, power ups, right? And so
yeah. I haven't played, honestly, I haven't played a lot of Halo. My first Bungie game was Destiny, and obviously similar concepts. I think that same developer, but different game. So
yeah, I mean, I'm still disappointed like the Halo 5 movement's not coming. Like, I really, really liked Halo 5 like a lot. So I'm a little. You never played that, right?
A little. I actually bought an Xbox to play Halo 5, and I played through the campaign, and I thought it kind of sucked, if I'm being honest. And then the PvP I didn't play a lot because I'm not a big console PvPer. I prefer PC, and I had it on Xbox.
Yeah,
so
I don't even know if I've ever played a campaign, but I just go off the PvP, obviously. Yeah, it was good, man. I honestly think that like a Halo 5 with just a BR thrown in there would have been the play, but I still think that not having a BR for Halo is such a stupid fucking play, but
VRs rule the world, man. Like that right now they do, you know.
So. Halo's such a perfect like formula for it. It just makes no sense to me. Like ODST troopers are part of the Halo lore, and I'm not even a lore guy, and I know like that works perfectly in for a VR.
Well, maybe it'll be content later down. Maybe they just don't want to drop all their eggs on the launch.
Content patch.
Yeah,
but I mean, COD did it. COD did it with like whatever it was, Black Ops or one of them. What are like? Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, later this year we're gonna have a VR on this game. It's like what?
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of it. The only other thing that I think I had on the schedule was, did you see that some states are now banning gaming PCs? Have you seen this BS?
Banning game PCs?
Yes, because they're not energy efficient enough. It's just like California banning like high performance sports cars because their fuel economy is too bad, right?
Okay.
It's the same thing. So California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and Vermont have now issued Dell will not ship their Alienware PCs to those states because they're not energy efficient enough. That I think they can't legally sell them anymore. You can still buy components and individually build your own, but like pre-builds, there's like, I don't know, man. I don't know all the details behind it, but it has something to do with energy efficiency and how these machines are too energy inefficient. It has to do with like graphics cards and power supplies specifically, even. So yeah. I'm just like, is this what's happening? Like, this is the thing now, is like the government's going to start banning what PC components we can run because they use too much power.
It's wild.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's the whole thing. I just think it's silly.
Yeah. It is silly. It is silly.
Whatever. I mean, I guess it'll force game developers or hardware developers to make more efficient cards and stuff, but you have some fluff hates?
I do, man. Okay, so fuck. I went out with I had drinks with the grill.
Okay.
And that I had like kind of chatted up a bit at a bar. And so we're out, and so weird. And so like we're talking, and like mid conversation she kept like cutting me off. I'm just like, oh my god, like your eyes are like they're so blue, like I could just stare in them for hours. And it's like, okay, like you're being sweet, right? Like that's nice, good on you. And then like we talk a little bit more, and then she like cut me off again, and then she said something like how are you single? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like you're such a complete package. Like the more I hear you talk, you're just like so how are you single? Like how is this a thing? I was like, well, I mean, I haven't really been single. Like I just got a 6-year relationship not too long ago, and literally right before that I was in another 6-year relationship. So it's like, it's not that I am I am single, yes, but it's like I have been kind of tied down, right? And she's like, yeah, but like you've been single for how long now? I'm like, I don't, X amount of months or whatever. And she's like, well, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you not? And so it kind of started getting like kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and so I kind of like try to move the conversation along. And then just out of nowhere, she's like, oh, it's because you must have like a small dick or something. And I was like, and so immediately my gut reaction was like to kind of like laugh, like it was just like a joke.
Yeah.
And then like she like kind of like hunkered down and like stared a bit, like I don't know, like either a super dry sense of humor or like it was just such a fucking weird thing. I was like, and I'm like, so then I was like, well, you can't just sit there and be like, well, no, I got a big dick. Like it's such a fucking weird, like it's such a stupid thing. And then I kind of got the hint that like she was trying to like, I don't know. I think it was all a big play just to like see my dick, basically. At the end of the day, like it was some like power play for me to be like, no, like my dick's great. You want to see it? Like you want to? I don't know. It just felt fucking weird.
Yeah. I'd be like, well, maybe you'll be lucky enough to find out someday. Like that's how you play that, just be like, maybe you'll be lucky enough, and like not like I want to show you today. So yeah, that is weird. Yeah. You're
listen, there's a lot of weird people out there.
Women, man.
There's a lot of fucking weird people out there. It's a weird scene. It's honestly, it's just so. Then you meet like really normal, really nice people, and like sometimes the sparks aren't there or whatever. And then like with this particular girl, like she was very kind of against the grain. I'm very kind of against the grain, and so like we hit it off on that note. And so I kind of expected like I don't know. And then another girl I went out with was like an anti-vaxxer, and I've never had an opportunity to have a conversation with someone that was that way, like an anti-vaxxer, like face to face, right? Like I see them all over social media, and they post like dumb shit, or like friends of friends on Facebook will have a dumb post or whatever. But I never had like the opportunity to just like face to face be like, oh, like you don't.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna go on this date. Let's have this conversation.
Right. And so like it came up, and she was like, oh, like it just doesn't. It's our right to like not wear masks, and the government shouldn't have the power to like force us to wear masks in public and blah blah blah. And like I don't know, man. To me, like when I see someone that's like, oh, I'm anti-vaxxer, or like I'm like you shouldn't have to wear a mask, it's our fucking God-given right, and dumb shit like that. It's like, to me it's just like, to me it's the same as saying like because most of the time the argument's like, well, people that have like pre-existing conditions or like elderly, like those people should just know to stay home, right? Like that's like 90% of the time it's like the argument here, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, I don't know, I don't argue with him often,
right? So. I just see it a lot, and it's just like, to me it's like, so like when you're like, oh, I'm anti-vaxxer, I'm anti-masker, it's like you're just kind of saying like old people and like people with pre-existing conditions don't deserve to go out in fucking public or something like that. Like it's just like fucking courtesy. It's all it is courtesy at the end. It's all I see it as. I don't care where you are.
It's like, yo, I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit to make sure that other people are safe. Yeah, that's what it is.
Literally. Yeah. Like what's the big fucking deal? Like just chill the fuck out. I don't know. It's just yeah. I love conspiracies, man. Like I love conspiracies, but like this is just dumb. It's just like, be good to your fellow human.
Just be nice to people, man. That's kind of the whole thing with the Blizzard stuff too. It's just like, be nice to people. Like I don't understand how you cover shit up like that. If that's really what's been going down and people have been covering up for people, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, dude? So, it's crazy. So for my loves section, man, I have what have I been enjoying lately? I picked up Final Fantasy 14. I talked about that a little bit last week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I love it, but I will say it's been growing on me as I level up. So it's such a different experience than WoW. Like it's a MMO, it's a big MMO, but it's different. It's a lot of like, at least the leveling process go here, talk to this guy, go here, talk to that guy. Every now and then go kill some shit. And then do a dungeon. And so it's okay. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. But something that you're gonna love, Fluff, is I bought the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Remastered, a remake or whatever they call it. And I played the Yuffie intermission DLC on that. It was good, dude.
You like bought that? They didn't like give it to you?
I bought it.
Ugh.
No, I bought it.
You paid money for that?
I paid money for it. It was good, man. I enjoyed it. It took me 10 hours to beat the DLC. It wasn't very long. But it was good. I enjoyed the entire thing. The story was good. It set it up well. The combat, she played really awesome. Her combat was actually, I think, better than most of the characters from the original. It was good. I enjoyed all my time of the 10 hours. They put a Fort Condor mini game in there. Do you remember Fort Condor from the OG?
Are you memeing right now?
No, I'm being serious, man. It was fun. It was good.
It was like Final Fantasy VII Remake, though.
Yes.
Yeah, that's shit. Why are you playing that shit?
Something's wrong with you. So it was good, man. If you guys like Final Fantasy, the reason I bought it is because I was playing 14, and the Final Fantasy 14 did something I'm not a fan of. So I've talked to other people about this, and they like it. They stole the music from all the Final Fantasy games and put them in Final Fantasy 14 online. So like you'll hear music from Final Fantasy 7, 10, like 10, 8, like all your favorites. And so I hear Final Fantasy 7 music, and I'm just like, dude, I start jonesing for some Final Fantasy a little bit. So that's what ultimately pushed me to buy that DLC. But that's it for the loves. Let's get into the Twitter question section. If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can submit them at ThaPChild, at Lord__Fluffy, or in our Discords.
Yeah.
First question comes from Omega Crits. He says, do you agree with Zazarian that the past couple of leagues there have been less chase items than there were before, or does this not seem to be as impactful playing SSF?
I would love to pick Zizern's brain one day, because I don't feel like most of the time we see eye to eye. Obviously, he's been playing POE infinitely longer and knows infinitely more about the game than I do. But when I hear him talk about like, oh, I didn't like these leagues, I'm like, those leagues are like the best leagues ever for POE. And so it doesn't seem like we agree a lot. And I'm kind of confused on this whole like idea of chase items, because I don't know, there really hasn't been that many chase items in GGG or in Path of Exile. And it's not really like you can actually chase most of these items, especially as like a hardcore SSF player. Like, you're not chasing a headhunter, really. Like, at the end of the day,
just hoping you get one.
You're hoping against hope that you find one, or you roll ancient orbs on a build or something. Like, I don't know. So to me, like, I agree with, like, it's really nice to have that chase. And the thing that we keep saying time and time again is, like, when they changed Harvest, so that, like, you know, you knew in Harvest that if you just kept playing, all you have to do is keep playing, and you'll eventually get the recipe that you want. And I thought that was really nice for someone that wanted to like grind a ton of time. I don't like one of the huge things I don't like about PoE is like I just go in and I'm just hoping against hope that I get cool stuff. Like, it's literally just hope. There's no way to deterministically really do much of anything in Path of Exile. And like, to me, that kind of sucks.
You just play and look at the loot that drops on the ground and hope you get what you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how I felt as well. But I don't know a lot about the game.
Right.
So.
And I was just so addicted to Harvest, because like in Harvest, like I got this crazy chest and like it was the perfect base, and then I slowly crafted really good stuff on it, and I had T1 everything, and I was just playing to get like another add crit roll to like this beautiful chest piece, and like it took me hours and hours and hours, like hundreds of hours, and then like eventually got it, and I made like quite literally like the perfect chest, and like that was super rewarding to me. But it still took me like hundreds of hours to do that. But it was still a carrot that I knew would happen eventually. And you just don't get that in Path of Exile, like, ever.
Yep. So do you think that there should be more chase items then, ultimately? Or do you
I guess
to be able to chase it?
I would love to hear his definition of what a chase item is.
I would say, so let's just say that his chase item is specific items that only drop off of XYZ boss.
I mean, I guess, is that I mean, that's a chase. Like, you know, like Awakener drops like the best loot in Path of Exile. And like, so I guess if I keep
I don't know
cycling
if that's
Awakener, maybe
for me.
I'll get Awakened gem that I want. I don't know. I think there's plenty of like chase items, but I'm curious to hear like what his definition of chase items is.
As far as me agreeing, Omega, that's a fluff question, man. It's POE's not. I don't have enough experience to.
No,
to
answer the question. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Ziz over fluff all day, every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Oso says, how much do you think the current events at Activision Blizzard are going to affect the development of D4?
I think that we are actively seeing development being paused probably on D4 at the least. Yeah. And we'll have to see how these, you know, we'll continue to cover these events, and, you know, me and Peel probably dive a bit deeper ourselves so that we're more informed next week. But I definitely see this news is going to keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to either pause development in the short term, and in the long term, you could potentially lose employees or management and decision makers to this if they were involved in any of these activities. So if they lose employees, then absolutely it could be huge, you know? So.
Yeah.
Maester Magus says, you two are stranded on a desert island. Fluff gets to pick on a TV show to watch over and over. Pete gets to pick one soundtrack or album to listen to. Oof. What are they?
Okay, we have to trade though. Okay, so
I'd rather have a TV show too.
Yeah, so we'll do both.
Okay.
All right, so I get to pick the TV show. We're going with Friends.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll listen to.
Shit, dude.
If you say fucking like Good Charlotte or something like that, I can't Pete, please.
Okay, how about, so I don't like the thing with, like, I love, like, Blink 182 is probably one of my favorites, and I could rock their stuff over and over forever. But to pick one of their specific albums, I guess their self-titled album would be my go-to. But I might also pick one of the old school Weezer albums too. I don't know, man. There's so many that just have specific songs that I like. But I'll go with Blink for my album.
Okay. I mean, I could listen to that. That's fine. Okay, now we're switching. What TV show are we watching?
Seinfeld, dude. For sure.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I like Seinfeld, man. I could just rock Seinfeld.
Album.
Yeah, just the album. I think it's better to
Weezer Blue Album. I think it's safe.
Yeah. Okay. I go with that. Weezer was on my choice of my list too. I could do that.
Like, we could live on an island together, apparently.
Dude, we could almost do it.
Let's get out of here.
Almost. Let's go. Let's go buy our island. Richard Branson. Isn't it the guy that owns the island?
Yeah. Let's go hang out there.
Hey. What's up, dude? Heck says, do you have a My House is Haunted story?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
Well, I think I've told the story. It was like, I think one of the first like 20 podcasts is when I told the ghost story.
Okay. But I don't remember it yet, but if you start rehashing it, maybe I'll.
It's a good one, man. So my girlfriend, who's from, shittown St. Louis, she was raised by her grandmother, and her grandmother like had a stroke and then eventually passed. And she was, just devastated by this, of course. And so we're in St. Louis. We're at this like funeral home. This is not a house story, but so I'm consoling her. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm like, this is really tough. I get that, and I'm trying to do my best. But at the same time, it's kind of it is like emotionally draining, and it's just like a lot of crying, and people are like really sad and all that stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I just need to like breathe. I just need a break. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be back. Be strong. And so I go downstairs to this restroom in this funeral home. I go into the bathroom, and it's like a sink, a stall, and a urinal. That's it. Not a very big bathroom. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to go in the stall. Like, I'll sit on the toilet for a bit, like play with my phone or whatever, like whatever. Maybe I have to go. I don't know. And so I go in there, I undo my pants. I sit down on the toilet, and like I pull out my phone, and I like go to open like Facebook or something like that. And all of a sudden the door just goes and like flies open to the stall. And so I'm like, whoa, like, hey, somebody's in here, like, cover up my, private parts and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, but like,
yeah,
no one's there. And so like I do the whole like, look under the stall door thing. Like, are their feet in here? Like, what the hell's going on? It's a small bathroom. I didn't see anyone when I came in. I didn't hear anyone come in. So I'm like, that's fucking weird. And so like I kind of get like a little like in my own head, but it's like, no, that's stupid. And so I'm like an engineer. So I'm like, I close the door. I'm inspecting like the locking mechanism of the latch of the thing. I'm like, okay, clearly, it's working and it's fine. And like shake the door to make sure like, okay, maybe like the thing goes back in if you rattle it too hard or whatever. So I've carefully inspected it, and I'm happy with the results. It's like, okay, yeah, it's locked. It's good. And I shit you not, the second I look down at my phone again, the door is and like slams wide the fuck open again. And I'm the only fucking dude in there. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. I hear you. I'm leaving. I'm going to go back upstairs.
It's like, get out.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, okay, I'm out. I'm listening. Yeah. I do remember the story vaguely. I do remember we told ghost stories on our way earlier. I don't know if I told this one or not. I have my alien story too, which is creepy, but this one is, so my uncle, he's since passed away, but when I was a kid, my uncle used to live in this really old house, and I went to stay with him one weekend, and him and his wife were telling me that, the house, they were telling like haunted stories about telling me the house could be haunted and they hear things in the room I'm sleeping in. And I think they told me this because they're like, listen, if you hear some weird shit, like come get us. Don't sit there and like to be scared, right?
Yeah.
Because I was younger. I was, I was, probably 10 or less. I was, probably 7, 8 years old, something. And so I go in and I'm sleeping in their guest bedroom. And this was like an old house, like an old farmhouse kind of thing. And so it had a lock on the door, but it was a lock that you had to like latch it from the inside. Kind of like, how you had those chains on like apartment doors or something sometimes. It was kind of like that, but it was a metal hook, right? And it latched over. So the only way to latch that shit was from inside the room. Like there was no other way that you were latching it closed. So I go to sleep and I hear some noise, and I wake up, and you're, like when you're a kid, like you're kind of scared to like just jump up and look around. You kind of just peek, you're like moving your eyes, but you're not moving your head because you don't want to like let them know you're awake.
Sure.
So I'm doing that. I'm like moving my eyes, and ultimately the lock was locked. Like when I finally like grew enough sack to like look up at the door, the lock was locked from the inside, and there's no way to lock the lock without being in the room, and nobody was in the room but me. So I heard strange noises, and the lock was locked, and then I opened the lock, and then I was like, fuck this, and I went and slept on his couch. And then he woke up in the morning, he's like, and I told him the story, and he was like, yeah, man, like there's weird shit in this house. And he ended up moving too. So but that's it. That's my closest ghost story I think that I have. But yeah, I'm like, all right, peace, punk. I'm not staying at your house ever again. Dirtnap says there have been a lot of remakes and remasters. So what game would you like to be remade or remastered with modern graphics?
Damn, that's such a tough question.
Yeah, P-Wifey says the McDonald's toy. That's legit too.
POE?
That story was good. POE, yeah. Can we say that they're already doing that? That doesn't count.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I would say Halo 1, but I don't know. I'd still like rather play like Halo 5 or something. I don't know. It's tough, man. That's a tough question. Like, I would have said Final Fantasy 7 once upon a time, but that happened and it was a fucking shit show.
It was amazing. So good. Actually, it wasn't amazing. It was good though. I don't regret it.
God, I'm trying to think of like other games that have... Oh, you know what? I got one. Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Okay. That's the old school Nintendo one, right?
Super Nintendo.
Okay, so the Super Nintendo. All right, yeah. Super SNES one, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game. That's a fun game.
Yep.
I remember leaving my Nintendo on to only have that completed save with one save file. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mine stopped being able to save, so I had to like leave it on every single time I like played it. I remember like one time, it was like during the 4th of July, and my dog would get scared of fireworks. And so like one went off. It was like the first one he'd heard all summer, and he like freaked out and he stepped on the reset button, and like I was like Dark World, like
no.
Castle 6 or something like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Not like this.
Yeah.
That's a good choice, man. I don't know. I would probably.
Wow.
I would honestly.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Really?
I would like. I would. Yeah, I really would. I would like to see them redo WoW, but in like modern, Unreal 4, Unreal 5 engine, like just legit. Make it look absolutely sick. That'd be really, really, really cool. But that's kind of a cop out because they keep releasing classics. I don't know. Final Fantasy VIII, man. I loved Final Fantasy VIII. I would like to see them redo that one next. I hope that that's kind of like the black sheep of all the Final Fantasy games. I feel like Final Fantasy VIII never gets any love, and it's my second favorite behind 7. I loved 8, so I would love to see like even the remaster that they did, like a HD remaster, and I bought it, and it's not that good. Like it's still a shitty HD remaster. Like,
Right.
It's not that good. So I would love to see them get the Final Fantasy remake treatment. Could be good. So, or did you ever play Mario RPG?
Super Mario RPG? Yeah.
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, that'd be interesting for them to make another Mario RPG.
I think they did, didn't they?
I don't know if they did. I haven't heard of it or played it, but that was one I put a lot of time into back in the day. Also, Kevin Hill says, did your parents ever do something as a kid that you thought, I'll never do that to my kids? What was it?
This is a hard question for me to relate to.
Yeah, well, you don't have kids, but did your parents ever do some shit where you're like, yo, I'm never going to do that?
Yes. So it was my 8th grade summer, and my brother's friend was staying with us because like he was kind of in a bad household. And my brother was not there. And he was kind of a pothead. And, very early on in life, I was like, I don't want to fuck with drugs. Like, I just knew something I was never going to be interested in. And so he would always be like, dude, let's smoke some pot. And I'd be like, no, man, I'm good. Like, I'm totally cool. But you can. Like, go for it. And so he lit up a thing, and it was in my basement. And, like, you could, like, blow out the screen. And it was, like, a huge basement. And so, like, zero chance that my dad actually smelled anything. But he comes to the top of the stairs and he's like, come up here for a minute. I'm like, okay. He's like, I smell something weird. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's a basement. Yeah. It stinks, I'm not going to rat my friend out. And, but, I hadn't done anything. He's like, no, something's weird. Like, you seem funny. I'm like, I'm literally not. Like, I'm fine. And then, so he ends up, like, not believing me and, like, grounds me for the rest of the summer, which is like a month left of the summer. And I was never this is the only time I was grounded in my whole life. And then I asked my dad, like, this is 5-6 years ago. I brought up this story to my dad. And I was like, do you remember like 8th grade? Like you actually grounded me. And I was actually incredibly innocent. Like my friend was smoking pot, but like I was a good kid and I didn't want to do that. And I didn't do that. But you grounded me for the rest of the summer. And he goes, I did that? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I don't even know what pot smells like. I'm like, I fucking hate you.
Got you. Got him.
Doesn't even, how do you not know what that smells like? But 2, like, God damn it.
Were you like, it smells like this, Dad? Here, come here.
Yeah. It's like, you son of a bitch. That's my 8th grade summer.
Yeah.
And I had a girl I was like hooking up with, and like that ruined everything.
You were hooking up in 8th grade?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of early there.
Progressive, man. Yeah. Progressive. I would say for me, it was my parents would never turn the effing AC on. Ever. Like you had to like almost be dying.
Same. Yeah.
To turn the AC on.
Yep.
And to me, I'm like, I swear to God, when I get my own place, the AC is gonna be set at 60 forever. Like, and that's the honest to God truth. Like my wife was lurking in chat. If she's still here, she will commit. It is so cold in the house all the time. Like to this day, I still crank the AC down.
Damn. So like, what's your bill look like?
I don't even care. I don't care.
What the hell?
The AC's worth it, man.
Mm.
It's as soon as it gets above 70 degrees, AC's on. I'm like, boom.
Okay.
Done. Yeah, that's the thing. Like they would never, ever like be in the car. They wouldn't even turn it on in the car. And I'm like,
Freon was like expensive
lowers,
back in the day, you know?
It lowers the, it kills the gas mileage. I'm like, dude, put the windows down. Like, no, I'm sweating. Like, no, turn the AC on. What is going on? So yeah, that was definitely my thing.
Mm-hmm. And houses were not insulated very well. And so not as well they are now. So like it was fucking hot sometimes.
I grew up out in the sticks, man, and I had like this old farmhouse, but we had window AC units back as a kid, like I grew up, most people would be like, damn, dude. It was pretty poor, pretty rough. But I would just say, like, man, we had the AC units, like get that one room, the living room, we would used to like bar it off, and that was the cold room, you go and chill in there. They still wouldn't crank it up, man. The last question we have is probably my favorite. Ryan K99 says, "What's the most inappropriate movie you could scene to and ruin the film?"
You cut out for a second. What was the question?
What is the most inappropriate movie you could add a sex scene to and ruin the film?
Shit.
I already know my answer because I read this as I was getting the questions together and it popped in my mind. So I already know. I already have the answer.
The most inappropriate movie you could add a sex scene to and it ruins the movie?
Yeah, or like just what's the most inappropriate movie you could add a sex scene to? Like what would be like I've just totally
like any Disney movie, like it's awful. But I don't even want to say that.
No. I'm gonna give you mine while you think, because I'm afraid you'll pick the same one and steal it from me.
Okay.
For me, it's gotta be Shrek, man. It's gotta be Shrek, and you could be because you just have Shrek going, "Come here, donkey."
You know what I'm
saying? Donkey, come here.
Stop. Just you clearly thought this through in some deep, dark fantasy.
No, it just as soon as I was typing the question up over to the list, it just Shrek popped in my mind. I don't know. It's because you can just hear him saying donkey. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, literally, like every kids movie of all time, like they'd just be awful.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, that's it.
Schindler's List, Jesus Christ. It's so dark.
Oh no! My God,
can we cut that part out? Mods, cut that out. Cut that part out of this stream. Oh my God.
Is that your just
That's
Disney?
Pretty great answer.
You're just gonna leave it like that, like all Disney movies?
I
mean, yeah. Okay. You can just go on for days, man. It's funny. I think that's actually a pretty funny question. That's it, man. That's all the questions we had today.
Easy
peasy. If you guys want to catch more of me, you can catch me at ThaPChild on all the places. And if you're mad that we're an hour late today, you can tweet to @Lord__Fluffy on the Twitter.
If you're mad that we're still on Thursdays and not on Tuesdays, you can tweet at ThaPChild.
So we're gonna have to move to Wednesdays now because you're a kickball pro. Is that what's gonna happen?
I play tennis. I play tennis on Wednesday, and they want me to play kickball on Thursday. So we should just go back to fucking Tuesdays.
I can't do Tuesdays, man.
Dude, I can't believe you are such a fascist still playing a Blizzard game.
Oh
my God.
True. I'm sorry.
Do you have any respect for women?
Okay. Well, I'm out. Peace out, guys. Thanks for the pod.
Yeah.
Catch you guys next week.
Peace.